times have we all wondered what the future holds? In what kind of cities we would be living in? For hundreds of years, people have made predictions for the future. But let's go back in time and see if they predicted today's reality.
Well, in the year 2000, I think I'll probably be the spaceship to the moon dictating robots to robots, or else I may be, I don't know, having a
contact with
in
each
charge
other
of a
wherever we
robot
may
court.
be, where we can contact our friends anywhere on Earth, even if we don't know their actual physical location. It will be possible in that age, perhaps only 50 years from now, for a man to conduct his business from Tahiti or Bali just as well as he could from London.
Streamlining for motor cars will be the problem of engineers of tomorrow. Someday, this problem will finally be solved. Sometime in the future, the completely streamlined torpedo car may come into use. Elevated highways, wide and level, may let us go 120 miles an hour.
Oh, the future. Definitely an interesting topic to sit and dive into with your best friend. It's a topic that can unleash your imagination to wonderful reality and hopes. Many imagine flying vehicles, hovering cities, or even life outside our own planet. Our ability to imagine is what differentiates us from any other living thing on this planet, or even perhaps the universe. But has any of our dreams ever become reality? Or even better, exceeded them? It's easy to try and glimpse into the future with the help of our brain's ability to imagine. But have you ever stopped for a moment and think that we're currently living in an era that so many people dreamed about? Thanks to the advancement of the technologies and the creation of the camera, we have evidence that indeed, many of the predictions for the past 100 years are now reality, and even on many aspects, we are presently more technologically advanced than they ever hoped for. Hello my friend, thank you for clicking on my video. My name is Julian and this is Untypical Stories. I just want to say welcome. Before I jump onto today's episode, I just want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel and like the video, as this will help me tremendously to make more videos like this. And also don't forget to hit the bell icon, as every time I upload new video, you will get notified. Now let's find out what the past futurists predict for today's reality. At the turn of the 20th century, Jean Marquiot and other French artists illustrated a collection of postcards predicting what the year 2000 would be like, in celebration of the 1900 World Exhibition in Paris. Many of the postcards showed a world in which humans had mastered both air and underwater travel, and while many of the predictions were way off, many of them offered an accurate glimpse into the future. The so-called correspondence cinema was a phone device that allowed video calls, and I think it's very safe to say that they got this one pretty close. Of course, our FaceTime is way more convenient. The same artist also predicted the helicopter. He called his vision of this futuristic invention Sentinel, or a soldier patrolling from the sky, which is not far off the helicopter and the use of them in the law enforcement. Farming was not an easy task in the 1900s, and this artist predicted the use of the automated machinery to help make life easier in the year 2000. This prediction is definitely spot on. Everyone knows that these days many farmers now rely on self-driving tractors to do the hard work for them. It is really interesting to look at those postal cards and imagine what the life was back then, and how many dreamed for the future. For instance, the auto rollers that remarkably resemble the modern hoverboard. And here we come to the popularization of the camera and the common use of it to film things after the invention of the first television. Of course, in the 1930s they talked a lot about fashion, which luckily did not come true. But one thing in the following clip is sure: they had desire for wireless phones, or as we know them today, cell phones.
The most famous fashion designers in the US today have been asked to forecast what Eve will look like in AD 2000. One idea is a dress that can be adapted for morning, afternoon or evening. It's the sleeves what does it. Apparently in AD 2000 we shall be having a hair-raising time. Yet another designer goes so far as to believe that skirts will disappear entirely. Shoes will have cantilever heels, and an electric belt will adapt the body to climatic changes. The lightly clad woman of tomorrow, ooh, swish, will move in an atmosphere that's scientifically kept at the right temperature. The future bride in a wedding dress of glass. What the groom will wear, apart from a worried look, isn't mentioned. A dress of aluminium, with a sash to change it for afternoon or evening, and an electric headlight to help her to find an honest man. As for him, if he matters at all, he'll be fitted with a telephone, a radio, and containers for coins, keys, and candy for cuties.
In the 30s and 40s, cars had officially become staple of the modern society, and although at that time they still weren't bold enough to predict flying cars or didn't think at all that this could be a thing to dream about, as every relatively new technology, people were trying to make it better. So there's a couple of clips I found of predictions for the future car.
So now, let's take a realistic look at the road ahead and what tomorrow's motorist can expect in the years to come.
Speed, safety, and comfort will be the keynotes of tomorrow's highways. A multicolored highway system may enable the motorist to reach his destination by following the correct color strip. The increased speed of tomorrow's automobile will demand that highway signs be larger and more simple to read, so that the motorist can anticipate his moves well in advance. If visibility is poor, our windshield becomes a radar screen, showing the outline of objects ahead. Or fog may be eliminated by dispelling devices along the right-of-way.
More complete streamlining for motor cars will be the problem of engineers of tomorrow. Someday, this problem will finally be solved. Sometime in the future, the completely streamlined torpedo car may come into use. Elevated highways, wide and level, may let us go 120 miles an hour. But such a torpedo car on our streets today would be entirely impractical.
People of the past were hoping the engineers of the future to design faster, safer, and more aerodynamic cars. I think their prediction was spot on, as today's cars even exceed everything they dreamed about. After the war, their vision of the cars start to shape more futuristic and unusual look, like the one in the next clip.
This little chariot can really run you around in circles. What's the trouble, Gary? Uh-oh, a modern Frankenstein. And here's another streamlined marvel on wheels. It only needs a pair of wings to be at home in the sky. Formidable indeed is its nose. With riveted aluminum fuselage, entry hatch, and rugged empennage, it's wasting time on the ground. But being earthbound, the monster is trundled out onto the highway to frighten other motorists. If you're looking for a 1960 model, this may well be it.
Another thing they focused in the 30s was the city layout, which of course is way off of today's modern city, as we're yet to see any flying cars and gigantic skyscrapers. But in the 50s, things start to look way more probable. So we go to the 50s and their prediction they hold for us. The 50s focused mainly on the convenience and the household, and the dream of less chores and more time to focus on the important things, such as stylizing your hair or doing your makeup without thinking of those dirty dishes that are waiting for you in the sink. But look at this next clip and let me know down in the comments, did you spot something that appeared very familiar?
Stands in Tomorrowland. Tough, durable materials, easily washable. Floors, walls, shelving, and furniture, plastic, in combination with plywood, fiberglass, and other materials. Even the fabrics on furniture are of man-made fibers. A dishwasher, of course, but this one unlike any other. Washing is by ultrasonic waves. And the dishwasher is also the storage place for dishes. Plastic dishes, of course. Yes, living here could be fun. Here's a vanity which even seems fantastic for a dream of the future. A laboratory at one end, melamine surface, and a telephone system which challenges the imagination. Push buttons instead of dial, and no handset to disturb my lady's dressing. Just talk and listen. With your favorite stereophonic recordings on built-in high-fidelity equipment. The bathroom for the youngsters is also futuristic. A laboratory that adjusts to height, no stretching or bending, with features that seem pure fantasy. Built-in electric razor and electric toothbrush. And here is something we'd all like to have. The same push-button phone we saw on the dressing table, but with the added attraction of a closed-circuit television receiver. The picture on the screen? Oh, that's of whoever is standing at your front door. You see him, but he doesn't see you. And you can give him any message you want over the two-way...
We cannot skip the 50s, of course, without including predictions about our beloved car, as the 50s was wild time for futurists, as this was the time the car took the sci-fi approach, and we saw flying cars, hovered cars, and of course, self-driving cars. Now, the idea of self-driving cars isn't new, and we even have operational self-driving cars on the road today, but the implementation of the 50s idea of self-driving cars was different. They imagined our roads to be equipped with powerful magnetic strips and with a little bit information from control towers and the driver, the car to take you to your desired destination.
Hello, Tower. This is Firebird 2304. Firebird 2304. How are things on the safety autoway?
Tower to Firebird 2. Tower to Firebird 2. All traffic moving in normal pattern.
FB2 to Tower. We're heading for Chicago. Please route us through. Over.
Roger, FB2.
Firebird to Tower. We'll take the green.
Roger. Check your fuel and engine.
Check. We're all set for auto control.
Roger, Firebird 2. Move to electronic control strip in center lane. Well done, Firebird 2. You're now under automatic control. Hands off steering.
Here we go on the high-speed safety lane. Ah, this is the life. Safe, cool, comfortable. Mind if I smoke a cigar?
Oh, not with this wonderful air conditioning. Hey, do you want some ice cream or a cool drink?
Orange juice, please. Oh, me too.
I'm gonna go for the ice cream. Thank you, dear.
Now, we go to the 60s and 70s, and things start to look interesting, as the invention of the first computers led to the beliefs that computers will play a big role in our lives and the future. At that time, many futurists were compiling very creative predictions. The craziest thing is how many of those predictions were really spot on.
Master James Shaw, 8 years old, student, attends formal school 2 mornings a week. Much of his education, however, is carried on in a kind of education center within the home and fed into teaching machines, which allow him to progress as rapidly as his awakening mind can absorb the audiovisual lessons.
It will not only carry out instructions you dial into it, it will also remember instructions you provided earlier. These memory features will offer many convenient services I'm sure you'll be delighted with. For one thing, you'll be able to reach frequently called numbers by dialing only 2 digits. All you'll have to do is give the telephone company a list of the numbers you dial most frequently. The electronic brain's memory will do the rest. And what about those times someone has tried to call you and your line is busy? We've thought of that, too.
Fine, Sarah, that's fine. I'll have the information for you at the meeting next Wednesday.
When you hear the beep tone on your telephone, you know someone else is trying to reach you.
Sarah, will you hold on just a minute? Someone else is trying to reach me.
All you do is flick the switch hook to hold the first call while you take the second. Want someone else on the line? That's easy, too. Flick the switch button, then dial a code number and the number you want, and presto.
This is Martha. Doesn't I have Sarah on the line, and we want to know what to do about...
As we look to the future, we see many extras for tomorrow's telephone users. One day, you may be able to call home and automatically turn off the oven. Or From a public telephone a couple of 100 miles away, turn on your home air conditioner and have the house nice and cool when you return from your hot trip. It may even be possible to call and water the lawn during that
without ever going to an office away from home. This console provides a summary of news relayed by satellite from all over the world. Now, to get a newspaper copy for permanent reference, I just turn this button, and out it comes. When I've finished catching up on the news, I might check the latest weather. This same screen can give me the latest report on the stocks I might own. A telephone is this instrument here, a mock-up of a possible future telephone. This would be the mouthpiece. Now, if I want to see the people I'm talking with, I just turn the button and there they are. As I work on this screen, I can keep in touch with other rooms of the house through a closed-circuit television system. With equipment like this in the home of the future, we may not have to go to work. The work would come to us. In the 21st century, it may be that no home will be complete without a computerized communications console.
And here you could put film cassettes in to play on your television set, get your favorite old programs. And the television set itself, we can expect the screen to get bigger, but the set to get much slimmer. In fact, it's sometimes said now that it might be possible to make the television set so slim that it could be hung on the wall.
I don't know, guys, did you spot anything that you can interpret as existing technology today? Let me know down in the comments. Here, another clip from the late 60s. Can you spot something familiar?
Notice the dramatically shaped bodice and the gentle form of the neckline.
This woman is ordering clothing from the comfort of her own home, looking at it at a digital colored screen. Maybe this was their vision of today's Amazon.
Certainly. Here it is.
Yes, fine. That's it. I'll take it. Please send it out to me. Here's my credit card. Oh, and don't forget the striped pillowcases.
No, we won't.
And now we reach the moon landing and the idea of space colonization start to spread. As seen in the next clip from NASA, they predicted by the year 2000 we would be already interstellar species and we would colonize Mars. Although we are yet to achieve this prediction, current futurists such as Elon Musk believe this will become reality in the next 5 to 10 years.
This is Taurus, the concept that has evolved from the work of these teams of scientists and engineers. They believe the huge space colony could be built before the year 2000. From dairy farms to manufacturing, the concept of living and working in space is a possibility with existing technology. That new space home, located 250,000 miles from Earth, would even have a far-out address.
In the late 80s and 90s, as the personal computers were just on the way, the idea for the future changed once again. In Back to the Future 2, the 1989 movie about time travel, Doc and Marty visit Earth in the year 2015. In the movie, that year was depicted with hoverboards, flying cars and turn payment systems. Of course, we cannot talk about past predictions without including the Terminator. In the movie, artificial intelligence Skynet takes over the world. In the movie, the prediction of this attack occurs in the year 2029, which is 8 years from now. But let's hope this will be one of those predictions that would never become reality. Okay guys, this was past prediction for today's reality. What do you think about all those predictions? And which one was your favorite? I would like to know what is your prediction for the near future. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye!